Hey y'all, so two things. First of all, thank you to everyone who keeps watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for those of you who give me feedback. Let's talk about lying today, right? Lying. One of my really good friends is a perennial liar. I've known the person for many years. For context, what I didn't notice about this friend of mine was that, first of all, he used to tell me a lot of things about his past in general. And even then, very reluctant to say. What you would find about liars is that they never want to tell you anything because they are kind of worried that they cannot be consistent in what they tell you. He never used to voluntarily offer up historical accounts of things that he had done or things that happened in his life. But then, even the little ones that I knew about 2, 3, 4, 5 years later on, when he repeats the story, it will be different. And because I have the memory of an elephant, my brain imprints things. So if you tell me something, as you're telling me a full story, my brain is imprinting relevant parts of that story. It's like stamping it, right? So that when you're retelling the story, if you do not touch those stamp points in the story, my brain tells me, oh no, something is different about that story. That's not what you remember. He actually, at this point, he said he did this. At this point, he said he did that. So that's exactly what I used to do. At first, it was just very innocent, right? Me just saying, no, but you told me that. He's like, then he would try to spin it into the story. The second thing I forget how I caught them. The second thing I realized was that this friend of mine isolated me from everyone else, right? So even though we knew a lot of people mutually, like I knew people that he knew, I find out later that I knew people that he knew. But when I'm telling him the story, let's say for instance, right, I'm saying, oh, I have a friend called Paul. And I explain who Paul is, how I met Paul. So now this is the story, this is what Paul did to me. Paul lives in this. I even show him a picture of Paul. So my friend would never say to me, oh, I know this Paul. So it's much later, I either meet the Paul and the Paul says to me, oh, by the way, I know this person. Then I come and I say to my friend, all the time I was telling you stories about Paul. You never once mentioned that I know Paul. He said, I know Paul. So why didn't you say you know Paul? Well, like, oh no, we didn't ask. Did you ask me when I told you about Paul in the first place? I mean, it doesn't make sense that if you were telling me somebody you knew, I would tell you about the person. So what he was doing essentially, to keep your lie, two things. You don't tell people historical facts because you don't want to contradict yourself later on. You're not able to keep your story straight. Second of all, you make sure you isolate whoever you're telling a lie to. Because one of the easiest ways to bust the person who tells lies is to meet other people that they are lying to. The only way you can keep me believing you is that I don't hear the other versions. The only way I cannot hear the other versions is if I never meet those people, right? So a perennial liar will do everything in their power to isolate you, the victim. Make sure you never meet the other people, because once you start comparing stories and you meet them, then you realize that they're liars. So this, my friend, made sure that even people that I would have we mutually knew separately, he would never confirm to me that he knew these people. The third thing is that liars rely on credibility and trust. This one is very key, so pay attention. Liars rely on you. A liar only gets away with lies because you believe him. They must ensure that you continue to believe them, as naturally we're all cursed as human beings. If someone tells something, we have to be like, okay, so, but why? But how? But where? Naturally. Normal people are not offended by that at all. You're allowed to question me if you don't believe what I'm saying. You're allowed to say that doesn't add up, and I'll try to explain to you. If I like you enough, if I don't like you enough, I'm like, okay, that's fine, but that's really what happened. They take particular offense by being questioned, and so to avoid being questioned, they need you to believe them fully, and they harp on it all the time, which is reason why that's the first defense that a liar goes to. The moment you start to question them, the first defense they go to is, you don't trust me, or you don't believe me, I don't owe you explanation, why do you think why would I be lying to you, I'm bigger than that. High trust environment requires that you're not afraid of my questioning. Not that I believe you completely, but a liar tries to flip it the other way around and get offended that you're even asking them a question about things they've told you. A high trust environment means you should not be worried that I'm asking you. It shouldn't mean anything that I'm saying, no, but that doesn't make sense. So I'm saying a safe environment, I'm safe enough to challenge you, and you're safe enough to simply answer me and keep it moving, if that makes sense. The reason why this video is important is because somebody now came to me and said, we hear everything you've said, right? However, what then do you do to somebody a perennial liar, who you cannot cut off? Right? So a spouse or a child. It's like a child who bedwets. I'm not going to throw the child away. He has to stop bedwetting at a point. I have to work with that child to stop the bedwetting because I have a fiduciary responsibility to that child. Fair enough. So I thought about it and I thought to myself, actually, this is exactly what the issue is with me and this friend of mine now. Is that I then got stuck in a situation where I have built a friendship with someone for almost a decade. I didn't see that the person was lying to me for a very long time. I only found out 2 years ago that the person was an absolute perennial liar. Straight to the point. If you know somebody in your life who you cannot cut off and you cannot do without, right? But they tell lies. The reason why people tell lies are numerous. One of which is because A, they have gotten away with it many times in the past. Then you grow up into an adult and you want to think to yourself that A, my parents never knew I was lying and I got away with it. B, people always believe me because I look believable. C, I create an environment where I've cut off everyone who challenged it. They want the most gullible people who will never question them. And that's how they've been able to thrive. They've been able to isolate each victim. So they've isolated their parents, their aunties, their friends. They've kept everyone in a different bucket so that they never interact and say exactly what's going on here. What then happens, because they've isolated each of those people, they first of all, they make it look like it's an emergency, so you have to act quickly. Second of all, they make it look like it's a secret, so please don't tell anyone because I'm so embarrassed by it. And you're like, no, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. What many families find later on is that actually that isolation is how you have encouraged, they get away with it because they've isolated you guys. So once families start talking to each other, that liar suddenly knows not to go to that group of people with the lies anymore. So if you do have a spouse or someone that you love that tells lies to your face, and you cannot do without them, or you cannot cut them off, number one, you must accost them. Even the very first time it happens, every time that a story doesn't add up or sounds different from the first time you heard it, you must point it out. It immediately tells the liar that you're paying attention and that you're keeping records. They don't like those two things. Second of all, you must say to them, okay, so I may be confused why you would tell me that first version in the first place. They will first try to brush it off as, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't add that part. Oh, I didn't think it was important. Oh, you didn't make me feel safe. Oh, all day. Don't buy it. Just see through it and be consistent in what you're trying to tell them. What I'm trying to tell you is two things. You cannot tell me lies and expect me to relate with you the same way. The trust that I have with you and credibility you built with me is beginning to erode. See, everything you tell me now, I will have to question it. I know you don't like that, but that's going to be our reality going forward. And that's the third defense that liars will give you when you accost them. They will say to you that I didn't think that information was relevant to you. I wasn't lying. I didn't add that part because it's my information and I can tell you what the parts I want to tell you. It is the fact that you selected the parts of that information that you think that will make me continue to see you as a good person, continue to treat you the way I'm treating you. Essentially, you're trying to benefit yourself. Either how I see you or how I treat you, by selecting the information you think I deserve to know and then making me look like a fool when the full set of information comes out. Call your spouse out if they tell lies from the very day they start telling lies. Accost them with it, right? Why are you telling me lies? These are the consequences, and then attach consequence to the lies. The same way you do for a child. Don't give them silent treatment, but make it clear that you're taking things away from them. So next time they say to you, oh, I would like you to do X, Y, Z for me, you say no. And now I don't know if you're telling me the truth or not. Next time they say, oh, please, I don't have money to eat. You say, no, I can't give you anything because the last time you told me you didn't have money to eat and I spent my money feeding you, only to find out that you had, they would say, you stayed too long in the past, you're too toxic, you never let things go, I had apologized for it. And that's the fourth defense that liars bring up. It's always about the victim. You're the problem. You didn't make me feel safe. You keep bringing up things that I did in the past. You don't let things go. You are the reason why I'm lying to you. You are the one that doesn't make me trust you enough to tell you everything because of the way you reacted. It's not true. They are lashing out. Don't fall for it. Insist on them that the actual problem is that they chose to lie in the first place. The very first time they told that lie, they had a choice. They looked you in the eye, all trusting of them, and still decided that they were going to go down the route of telling you a lie. And now they don't want the consequence, which is long-term consequence of lack of trust, long-term consequence of me questioning everything, long-term consequence of changing the way I behave towards you, not taking you seriously, not jumping to help you, because the one time you lied to me was fundamental and crucial, and you need to stick to your guns about it. And now my fourth thing and last thing I'm going to say is be ready to walk away. So one of the things that liars learn to do early on is part of manipulation, is to say to you, if you're not going to start believing everything I tell you, if you're not going to be gullible with me and allow me to lie to you to your face, even when you know I'm lying, ignore it or let it go, or accost me and once I say I'm sorry, let it go, even if I lie to you again tomorrow. There should be no consequence to what I'm doing. The last card they always play is to threaten to cut you off. Avoiding the people who hold them accountable is the last defense of a liar. So when they threaten to cut you off and threaten to walk away, let them go. Let them go. Tell them, yeah, that's fine if that's what you want to do. Make them realize that they cannot hold you to ransom and tell you that you should ignore their lies or accept their lies. No. And lastly, and I said that was the last one, but this is the really last one. Don't let a liar isolate you. No matter who it is, your husband, your wife, they are thriving in their lives because they've isolated you. They know that you cannot go anywhere. You will not share that story out there. Also, a part of you doesn't want to out them. You don't want to embarrass your husband. You don't want to spread it around that he's telling lies or he's a perennial liar. So you think it's a family thing you have to keep to yourself and handle it. Tell someone. In fact, if you know mutuals, tell the mutuals. Check stories he told you with the mutuals that would have known that story. Just ask them, where did he tell you he was that day? Oh, what did you thought he was doing? Oh, the other day he said he went to the barber in the evening. And watch their face. Share all mutual things, start talking to each other. Share information about the liar and things he has told you. Take it public is what I'm trying to say. Don't ever keep it private. Keeping it private is what the liar has gotten away with so far. The parents knew the child was lying. They don't tell anybody in the world. They keep it private because they don't want to embarrass the child. The spouse does the same thing. Keep it private. The pastor knows. They keep it private. And the liar continues to thrive, playing one lie against the other, just waiting until the day he's caught. If he's caught by this group, he moves to this group. He avoids those ones, to stop telling them anything, moves to these ones, and continues. He doesn't change. But you're a spouse. You're not going anywhere. You have to help them deal with this. So yes, be ready to walk away, but also make sure that you make it public. Ask for help. How do I deal with this? My husband keeps telling me lies. My wife is consistently lying about the smallest things. Where did you go? I went to market. Meanwhile, I saw your car at this. I saw you at this. Yaramota said you were at her house literally for 3 hours doing nothing. Oh yeah, but I went to market after Yaramota's house. Why did you leave out that part? Why did you leave out that part? Oh, I didn't think it was relevant. You are telling lies. You are telling lies. And there's consequence for it. And I'm not going to let it go. And I'm going to go and ask Yaramota. And I'm going to start asking everybody about you. And I'm telling them that you're lying. So that they also know that you're a lie. Is that what you want? Is that the life you want us to have? Where I can't trust what you say to me. If they bring you back and they say you did something, I can't say, no, I'll wait until my husband tells me he did it. Oh, I'll believe my own wife if she says she didn't do it. How are we in that kind of relationship? You have to make it clear that's unacceptable. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. And I hope that it helps the person who asked me that question. I know I've gone round and round about it. There was just so much to say about it. But I hope I've been able to help you. If you have any specific questions or any scenarios, reach out to me and we can talk about it. Otherwise, thank you for listening. And I will see you guys on the next one. Cheers.